Okay, I am going to be recording this probably through Stephen's talk, and I'm glad you're here. My name's Cindy Longo Cassidy. For those of you who have not met me, welcome. This is our holiday gathering and giving celebration. So feel free to have a little celebration in a glass at home if you'd like. This should be a fun evening. I wanted to tell you what to expect during this evening. We're gonna first have a little bit of a spotlight on our accomplishments for IDA Texas for our chapter for the year. And then thanks to our Blanco County Friends of the Night Sky, we have some live music. Then we'll talk about some of the donation opportunities. And we'll have another live music interlude for you. Then we're going to show you the Texas IDA website, our new website, followed by a virtual star party.
Some other weirdo is talking right now.
Who? Mother weirdo?
Another weirdo is talking right now. Cindy is talking.
Yes. Yes. So
no,
we need
I just
to yes, I was going over what to expect tonight that you can see on your screen. After our virtual star party, we're going to have a reminder again of how to donate, but then a little bit of a bonus of a post-meeting discussion on some legislative efforts for the upcoming session. So thanks so much for being here. Let me hit those that spotlight on accomplishments for you and share them with you. I hope you see them on your screen. You know, in this past year, all of the members of IDA were invited to come together and figure out the types of things that we want to work on so that people in various parts of the state, if they want to work on similar items, they could do so. They could help each other, they could support each other, they could work together and get that done. Now, one of the things that we did to facilitate that was the second little starred item here was to build a Slack platform for statewide communication, to share resources and let people communicate. I'm hoping that you all have set that up so that it notifies you when somebody puts something out there. Doesn't mean you have to go spend time on it right then, but just let you know that that's there. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend that. We have in almost all of our newsletters that go out, and we'll do one to follow up from this meeting that'll show you how to join the Slack platform. We also organize that platform to fit those projects. We have built out the IDA Texas board with 6 regional managers, a director, a treasurer, and a secretary. We're also at this point looking for backup for each of those regional managers and potentially a couple other job types to help with that. So if you're interested, let us know. You can contact all of the members of the board through the email that we'll put up in a little bit called idatexas@darksky.org, which actually is pretty easy to remember. We've had programs for each month, and when we look at the website, you'll see how you can go back and look at some that happened that you may have missed. We went, of course, live with that new IDA Texas website, and we facilitated having Dr. Travis Longcourse speak to hundreds of Texans. And in fact, I want to set a time to offer a viewing of his program to all of you. So without further ado, we are gonna actually, I'm watching the our agenda tonight because I have a timing on it for me. And we are doing quite well. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, stop my sharing, and let Wayne Gosnell introduce our first performers. So he can, yeah. And anybody else, you need to stay muted, please. So Wayne and the performers will be unmuted, and everybody else, please stay muted so that we don't interrupt the performance.
Okay, let me put a little bit of context in this. The Blanco County Friends of the Night Sky had been doing a lot of public education for night sky preservation. But we said, you know, how do we reach people on an emotional level rather than just on a purely scientific level? And we have in Blanco, we're blessed with having just a ton of very, very talented musicians. So we went down there, and they meet every Friday night. We went down there to one of their sessions and challenged them. We said, okay, guys, you guys, there's a ton of talent here. We want you to write songs about the night sky. It can be a song of a romance. I fell in love with my honey under the Milky Way. It can be a song of lamenting the loss of the night sky that your grandparents had. It can be a protest song, protesting city people that move in and mess it up for everybody else. Bottom line is they took it, ran with it, and we had our contest, and we ended up with 13 terrific original songs about the night sky. One of our board members, Larry Seiler, happened to have a recording studio, Los Senderos studio between Blanco and Johnson City. And so Larry put together a CD of those 13 songs, and we call it Deep in the Dark of Texas. And Cindy will talk about it a little bit later, but we're putting that CD, we're splitting the profits on that CD with Texas IDA for the next week. So having said that, that's the context. One of the talented songwriters that participated in this was Brenda Freed with her sidekick, Michael Deeth. And Brenda and Michael, there they are, they're waving. They're up in Iowa tonight. It's almost freezing. They're up at a family event up there. But let me say, Brenda wrote the song that she's about to sing originally for a park opening, a dark sky park opening in Canada. But it had never been recorded, so it was eligible for our CD. And when she came down, she sang it, she knocked it out of the park. So I now introduce Brenda Freed and Michael Deeth and family singing Dark Skies. Brenda?
Right, and I co-wrote this with Olathe McIntyre, who's a scientist at Sudbury Science North in Sudbury, Ontario, and it was Killarney Provincial State Park. We wrote this and performed it at the opening. It was being declared a night sky preserve, and I'm so honored to be here to sing it with y'all. I'm joined by my sister, Jan Freed, her husband, John Fisher. I can't get my directions right here, and Michael Deeth. So thank you. I love to ride my bike at night, and so we kind of started there. This is called Dark Skies. Dark skies lead me into the night, glide under stars while riding my bike. Breath beats my heart as my pedals go round, a breathtaking cadence for night's nature sounds. Wind is at peace, earth turns from the sun, bright stars above, a new cycle begun, a guide for all life, stars need to be seen, telling the stories of the hunter and the queen. I love dark skies, I love dark skies, I love starlight, I love starlight, I love dark skies, I love dark skies, I love starlight, I love starlight. of soul. They guide where to go, tell birds when to sing, tell plants when to grow. But the stars are eclipsed by parking lot lights, wasted shine hiding the stars of the night that teach nature cycles and send us to sleep. Fading stars tell us we're in way too deep. We need dark skies, we need dark skies, we need starlight, we need starlight, we need dark skies, we need dark skies, we need starlight, we need starlight. Images of Earth from high up in space show unshielded light, a disruptive waste. Borders are drawn in a bright web of light. Looks beautiful to some, but we're losing the night. Dark skies, keep the dark, keep the night. Help others see the dark in a new light. Turn the lights on, or at least point them down. We can do it! We've got this! Spread the message all around. Save our dark skies, save our dark skies, save our starlight, save our starlight, save our dark skies, save our dark skies, save our starlight, save our starlight. We need dark skies, we need dark skies, we need starlight, we need starlight. We love dark skies, we love dark skies, we love starlight, we love starlight. Dark skies, dark skies, starlight, starlight. Dark skies, dark skies, starlight, starlight.
Woo, very good.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
Thanks for having
us.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We love what you're doing. We are
Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
That
was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Friday made it a big thank you.
Excellent,
very much.
excellent. Thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move to our next little piece here. And let's see, I need to share my screen again. Okay, we've hit our accomplishments. Part of tonight's program is to point out, to get some donations and to point out the things that we are needing for donations so that you'll understand where the money's going. That's important. Let you know where the money's going. So our first thing that we have listed are grants to support IDA dark sky places. I don't know whether you are aware, but there's a new process as of October for any dark sky place, whether it's a park, a community, or any of the number of dark sky places. They have to pay $250 with the application, and that fee is good for 36 months while they finish getting the application in. So it's not something you want to pay when you first think, I want to be a dark sky place. Let's start figuring out how. But there are a lot of places, especially some of our parks, that don't have those funds. So there's one of the things we need. We obviously need we have to pay for our website and our data set names and maintenance on it. So we need money for that. We would like to get our own IDA Texas Zoom account instead of borrowing one for every meeting. We would also love to get professional tabletop banners that we can then share around the state for events to help our outreach. And then for general expansion of the IDA Texas chapter. So those are some of the things that we want to have some funds for. Because right now we don't have any way of having funds except your donations. So how to donate? How to donate? Well, on our website, we have a link. If you go page down, all the way down to the bottom, on every page, there's a support. I believe it's the support button. And you can donate there. There's a direct donation through PayPal. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't turn my phone off. So there's a direct donation there through PayPal. It also lists a phone number, an address where you can send a check. And then tonight and for the next week or so through the 18th of the month, we have 2 items that you can purchase that when you purchase it, IDA will get half of the profit on that. So let's think. We also have, and I'll mention, we have 6 copies of the book, the child's book, Who Loves the Dark, by Dr. Sherry Philbaum, that you can order through that IDA Texas at darksky.org. When you do that, the first 6 people will be told, yes, that they get one of those books and be told exactly how much. I believe with shipping, it's a little over $18. You'll be told how much, and you can go and how to pay. It'll be either by check or through the PayPal donation or donation button on the website. So you have to write first and say, I want one of the books, or I want 3 of the books, and that'll happen. I want to back up with that direct donation. Any donations done, I believe it's this whole month, through our website. So that direct donation up to $500. We have a fabulous anonymous donor who is going to match your dollar amounts, who's going to match those gifts up to $500. So all sorts of good things. I believe Amy's going to put the ordering links in chat, which will happen later. Oops. And we also have them on our website. When we do the little show and tell of our website in a little while, you'll get to see where you look at information on each event. And tonight's event already has those links built in, so you can just click on either the Cassandra in the Night Sky book or the CD Deep in the Heart of Texas, and you'll go right to that link where you can order it. Okay. We are getting close to the point that we're going to have our second live music interlude. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back over to ask Wayne to introduce the next performers, and we'll let those performers unmute themselves. We're asking everyone else to stay muted, including me. I'll cut myself off here. Thank you, Wayne.
Well, the first shall be last. Our next performer is Melanie Van Aiken. I think Fred may be with her there tonight. Interesting thing, this song that you're about to hear was the very first song that Melanie ever wrote. And darn if she didn't win our contest. It's a cute little ukulele ditty that, you get a song in your head and you sing it, it's there all day. Well, get ready, because this song's going to be in your head. Melanie won our grand prize, which was $100. It's all we could afford. She took possession of the check, turned right around and gave it right back to us. So she's a great supporter of the night sky. And so singing Welcome in the Night, written and performed by Melanie Van Aiken. Melanie. Melanie needs to be unmuted.
Melanie can unmute, should be able to unmute herself. Let's see. I don't think I can unmute her. I can ask her to unmute. Try hitting the space bar. You're there.
Okay.
All right, here we are.
So I was not one of the in the circle of singers. I was one of the listeners. I had only been playing my ukulele for about a year. But the minute I heard about the Dark Sky Initiative, I knew it was something I wanted to be involved in. As a midwife, I spent a lot of time in the dark night, traveling around, trying to make it to homes before babies did. And I saw a lot of night critters, and I've always been very fond of night critters. So when this contest happened, on my way home, this song just started falling out of my head. And so I'll sing it for you now. I was lying to myself. It had been a long, hard day. I was climbing into bed when you lifted up your head. Here is what I heard you say. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Let us welcome in the night. Oh, darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Fireflies began to dance. Raccoons were calling to the frogs. And as they watched the sun go down, they gathered all around to sing their nightly song. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Let us welcome in the night. Darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Then the owls began to hoot, and the bats began to squeal. Whippoorwill was signaling they should all join in and sing, so they flew and sang along. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Let us welcome in the night. Darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Then the owls began to hoot, and the bats began to squeal. Whippoorwill was signaling they should all join in the sing, so they flew and sang along. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Let us welcome in the night. Oh, darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Then the stars began to sing, and the planets sang along. They had shined a million years, but he brought mankind to tears. That's why they joined the song. Turn out the light, or at least point it down. Turn out the lights, point it down, point it down. Let us welcome in the night. Darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Let us welcome in the night. Darkness is just right. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Turn out the light. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay! Outstanding, guys. The video froze, but the music came through, and you're fabulous as always, Melanie. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Good.
It was great. It was great. We appreciate you so much. That was just wonderful. And coming to our little event tonight and doing it live is just fun for everybody. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Such fun. All right. Well, the next thing on our little agenda here is to show you some of our, kind of introduce you to our new website if you haven't seen that. And I've got it up here on your screen for you. It's a joint website with the Texas Night Sky Festival. Obviously, so much of the information is the same for the two groups, and Texas Night Sky Festival is an affiliate of IDA. So we work hand in hand, and I want you to go and look at it when you get a chance. But right now, I want to show it to you, and I don't want to scroll fast because I know that's just difficult on your eyes. But we've got a number of sections here with information that we can use as outreach. So to me, this is a resource for you. You can go to each of these different places. You can look at businesses that have stood by us and helped us. We feature some photographs that people have submitted to some of our photography contests. And this is where we're looking at events of interest. And for instance, tonight's event, if you look at any of these events and open it up, tonight's event, if you go down to the items that you can purchase and help support IDA, if you hover over it, you can click and go to that place to actually order that book or that CD and get these songs that you've had some of them played for you tonight. Get your own copy so you can play it over and over and really get it in your head, right? Right, Wayne? We'll have everybody humming. So that'll be fun. So, but every one of our events, we have the information that you can spread it out, you know, go down and drill down to the details and click on it and go to the recording of that. So ever since we started doing our monthly speakers back in July, we've been doing that. And that's there for you. I'm going to go back. Well, let me take a peek at the bottom first. Ooh, at the bottom of each of our screens, you can always figure out how to get back to home, how to join us, and support. That takes us to our donation button that you can get to right there, and how to contact us. All right. Let's go back to the top, and we have these 6 areas that you can go to, but you can also find them from the very top. Why Protect the Night Sky, online learning, common sense and resources, One Basic Commitment, Texas Night Sky Festival, and our IDA Texas chapter information, our business supporters, and Texas Dark Sky Places. I'm going to jump over to Why Protect the Night Sky. I'd like for you to see just a little bit of that page. Here's information that you can read through and learn about things that you can help, be able to tell other people, or you can point people to this particular part of our website and say, here's information. This is why. All sorts of information for you, and some lovely pictures that many photographers have allowed us to use of theirs. So all the way down to the bottom there. The other thing that I want to show you on our website, back up to the top, we have, let's click quickly on our online learning. That is getting filled out. We're getting links to this program to have video lessons for elementary and middle schoolers, which actually can be taken by people who are older than that. Common Sense Solution and Resources is a page that I hope will help you a lot. You can download, these 5 principles of responsible outdoor lighting. You can jump directly down to information on Texas lighting codes. You can look at things like what should my light look like? Gosh. And there's the IDA Dark Sky Friendly Home Lighting Program and some replacement options to help you when people say, what do I put up and where do I find it? That download has some good information about where to find it. Then information on our statewide Be a Star program, where you can award any residential or commercial property, any sort of property can get an award, and how to start a local night skies group. And then information on getting stickers for night sky advocacy. That's for making big orders for your group. And then all sorts of documents, presentations, facilitators guides, and good websites for you to look at. So if you keep going down, we're going to add more examples of good lighting for you, but we get into information on the Texas State Outdoor Lighting Codes. It's where you can have links to the actual codes, the nuisance case law, the code to allow select counties to regulate outdoor lighting, all sorts of information, including a sample generic ordinance for you, and a list of places that have local codes and either resolutions or proclamations there. So the other thing that, let's see, so I encourage you to explore the new website and learn that. The one other thing I want to show you before we get back, sorry for going so fast on that one. Before we turn the program over to Stephen, is this video that was put together. Actually, the picture, right, the starting picture is of an observatory here in Texas. We had asked for pictures in Texas. We have a few elsewhere, but we appreciate the sky everywhere. So this takes a couple of minutes, and I want to share this video that was put together by volunteers here in Texas.
I am the night sky. My stars are bright and tiny sparks, diamonds in the sky. I'm in the songs and stories of childhood. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Good night, moon. My whirling clouds, bright crescent moon, made Starry Night Van Gogh's timeless masterpiece. I am the night sky. I have amazed and inspired you and enlarged your perspective, guided travelers by land and by sea, wrapped you into my universe, made you a part of the big picture. Listen, there is so much more to me than beauty, mystery, and awesomeness. Life on Earth depends on natural darkness. People, animals, and plants no longer have the darkness they need to survive and to thrive. What happened? Before artificial lights and glowing screens, you watched the stars, courted by the light of the silvery moon, savored peaceful nights of slumber. Now you no longer see me as clearly, if you see me at all. Now many children never see the stars. Our human lights change the world for sea turtles, fireflies, songbirds, and frogs, even for the lowly dung beetle. Life on Earth truly depends on natural darkness. I am the night sky. I miss our cosmic connection, our late night talks. I miss your many wishes cast upon my stars, and I know you miss me too. The good news is I'm still here, as big and beautiful as ever, waiting for you to look up and see me clearly once more.
Wow, so, whoops. It wants to
I
play
am the
again.
night sky.
Sorry, let's stop that. Oh, excellent. So that was, like I said, was put together by quite a list of volunteers here in Central Texas. And if you go to the website, it has the list of people at the bottom. So we're gonna encourage all of you to share the website, to go out and spend time, you know, when you're working with people or whatever, share the website. You can get to it two different ways. The shortest way, I'm going to type in, it's TX as in Texas, nsf.org, because and I'm putting that in the chat. It is a joint website. You can get to it from www.idatexas.org. We've had a couple of problems that we're working out with people getting to it from Safari recently, but there you go. That's how you can get to that website. Share it with people. Use those resources. Well, it's time. It's 7:40, and Stephen, it's time for us to turn the program over to you at McDonald Observatory. Let you have a program for us, and then Stephen, let's see if we can you unmute yourself, Stephen? We're ready for you to do that. And when Stephen finishes, we have a couple of wrap-up things. And in case anybody has to go, I want to make sure they hear this. We're in a Globe at Night program. We're right during the Globe at Night period of time. And if you're not familiar with that, go Google globeatnight.org. Start taking those monthly readings. It really helps them. But we'll talk a little bit more about that after Stephen does his program. So Stephen, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've got the floor, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, Zoom's dropped out on me a couple times, so hopefully it remains stable. But yeah, my name is Stephen Hummel. I am located out at McDonald Observatory in Far West Texas. Let me start sharing my screen, if you'd allow me to share my screen really fast. It's currently disabled. But yeah, my title is Dark Sky Specialist here at McDonald Observatory, and we're part of the University of Texas at Austin. And behind me is a 16-inch telescope, which I still hope to maybe use. Am I sharing the right screen? I don't believe I am. That didn't let me select it. All right, let me stop sharing my screen for a minute again. And okay. Okay, let me share the right one. Screen 3. Okay, can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes?
We
Okay.
see two observatories with a picture with star trails. Is that what?
That's what I want y'all to see. Okay, yeah. So anyway, yes, I'm located in Far West Texas, and the beautiful McDonald Observatory pictured here in the snow last weekend. We haven't had any precipitation since early September until this past weekend, where we got 3 inches of snow, and right now when we have some rain tonight, which we sorely need because we have less than half of the rain for this point in the year we usually get. But I'm located in a dome here. That's where I am. I'm inside that dome, and it houses our 16-inch telescope at the Visitor Center. And of course, McDonald Observatory is known for its incredible night skies, extremely dark skies, pristine almost. This was also taken a couple of nights ago. That picture there is the Hobby Eberly telescope peering out at galaxies upwards of 9 to 11 billion light years away. Some of the faintest things technology allows us to detect today. My plan tonight was to show you some live views from the telescope behind me, which is also pictured here. Our 16-inch telescope pictured in the summer. We can see the Milky Way a little better. Unfortunately, I can hear the rain pattering on the roof. Let's see what this, actually, I can show you all a sky camera view. Yeah, those aren't stars. Those are just hot pixels, but that's supposed to be a view of the sky. But it's a view of nothing because it's cloudy. And one of my favorite things, one of the more unnerving things about living out here is that when it's cloudy like this, it's really dark because it's like being in a cave. When there's no natural light sources and the stars are blocked out completely, your eye will never adapt. Whereas if you let your eyes adapt under even a moonless but clear sky, you can actually find your way around with nothing but starlight. So we call it dark, but actually, even the stars themselves, if you really let your eyes adapt, are capable of adapting enough to see obstacles. But so yeah, again, we're located in far west Texas, where that little arrow is pointed to. This is a satellite loop, and you can see that we've just kind of been in the thick of this this muck. But I'll talk a little bit about what I was planning to show you. And I'm still planning on doing a live program tomorrow night on YouTube, and I'll send a link to that in chat if I can bring up the chat. Let's see here. Here we go. So tomorrow night on YouTube, I'll be going live along with my colleague Saul Rivera and showing some views from this telescope. So you'll still get to see some live views. But tonight I had 3 targets picked out for y'all. The first was this galaxy pictured here. This image was taken with the telescope behind me, and this is NGC 891. And it has many nicknames that are a little easier to remember, such as the Silver Sliver Galaxy. It's a bit of a tongue twister, Silver Sliver. And you can kind of see why. It's a very thin galaxy. And this is a very well-known galaxy among astronomers. It's a textbook example of an edge-on galaxy. And when I say a textbook example, I mean that in its most literal sense. I have a textbook on galaxies, and that's on the cover. So it really is pretty well known by astronomers, but not as well known to the layperson, I believe. So this galaxy is 30 million light years away. So it took 30 million years for the light from that galaxy to reach us. And it is a spiral galaxy, like the Milky Way we live in, but we're viewing it edge on. And because it is basically a coin shape and it is very thin, it just looks like a line. But you can see that there is this line of dust and gas dividing it, almost bisecting the galaxy. And when we look up in the sky at the Milky Way, what we see in the Milky Way is this same sort of thing, just much closer. A line of gas and dust and lots of stars. So it's the same thing here, just in a different galaxy, 30 million light years away. You can also kind of tell that the center is a little bulbish, a bulge, as astronomers call it. And that's usually where you find older populations of stars, is within the galactic bulge. And in the case of where we are in our galaxy, if this were the Milky Way, and they are generally similar, we'd be kind of out here in the middle, kind of in the suburbs, so to speak. And sort of middle-aged stars for the most part. Our sun is middle-aged, in case you didn't know. It's got 5 billion years left, though, so don't worry. The next object I was going to talk to you about and show you live was one that we're also going to see tomorrow night, and that is known as the Veil Nebula. This is an image also taken with this telescope that was taken about a year ago, almost exactly. And the Veil Nebula is, for a lot of people, when they first see this and they see pictures of it, they think it's an artist's representation, right? It looks too good to be true. Like those colors, they just look surreal, but they're completely and totally real. Now, when you see this with your own eye in a telescope, you don't see the color, of course. Our eyes, as I'm sure you're aware, are not sensitive enough to see color very well at night. But you can see the structure. But the color is revealed in a long exposure. The pinkish red, that is from hydrogen, and the blue is from ionized oxygen. These are two of the most common and abundant elements in the universe, but they've been excited to glow. They've been ionized by a supernova explosion, which occurred roughly 10,000 to 30,000 years ago, depending on who you ask. We're not entirely sure. But there was a massive star, and this massive star exploded and formed a shock wave, and that shock wave is expanding off. Here's a wider field shot. The shock wave is expanding off, and as it encounters material, just interstellar dust and things that were already floating out there in space, it sweeps it up, heats it to many thousands of degrees, excites those atoms and makes them glow, makes them fluoresce, just like a fluorescent light bulb. So this is actually an object that's so large in the sky that if it were only a bit brighter, you would not need any kind of optical aid in order to see it. This is about 6 full moons from edge to edge, or about 3 degrees, and it's another about 4 degrees in this way. So combined area, about 36 times the area of the full moon in the sky. So actually, if you have a specialized filter that only allows this light through, either the kind of the bluish color especially, and you just take that filter and you hold it up to your eye, you can see it. It suddenly just pops out. It's just a matter of contrast to make it visible to our eyes. You do need dark skies, of course, in order for that trick to really work effectively, though. Here is another animation from the Hubble Space Telescope of a particular section of the Veil Nebula. And this view is false color. They've added the orangish color is actually sulfur that's been ionized, but that color is also red, and so it just blends in normally. So they made it false color to increase the contrast. But it has all these sheets and filaments. It's just wonderfully intricate. It just goes on and on. And it is so intricate because as the shockwave expands, it starts to interact with itself and encounters other denser areas of gas and dust. And so it kind of bounces back on itself in many locations, leading to that wonderfully intricate veil structure, hence the name. It's an incredible object to scan across with a telescope. You can spend a long time just kind of going back and forth, exploring the various intricate little details within it. It's a target I never get tired of because there's just so much detail there, and it's so big. You get the best of both worlds there. The last object I plan to show tonight was the Crescent Nebula. Now, the Veil Nebula is located nearby in the sky, and it is a supernova remnant. This is sort of a precursor to that. So what we have in the center is an incredibly bright and very rare and unusual star called a Wolf-Rayet star. And these stars are top of the charts in terms of mass and luminosity and temperature. Wolf-Rayet stars are really something incredibly unusual. They're what happens when you have a massive star, maybe 40 times the mass of the sun or so. It's really big. And they are beginning to run out of fuel. They start to run low on hydrogen, which they use to power themselves through fusion. And when that happens, they become incredibly unstable, and they begin to shed outer layers off, and were known as intense stellar winds. They kind of puff out, and they shed material out at many thousands of kilometers per hour. And the kind of debris is heated up by the star, which is now kind of naked and exposed. And it heats up the surrounding gas and makes it glow, just like with the Veil Nebula. But this time the star hasn't exploded. It's just sort of gotten really puffy, and it hasn't been feeling very well, in other words. So it's exciting the gas, and just like with the Veil Nebula, the red is from hydrogen, and the blue is from oxygen. But we do believe this star in the center will explode in a supernova in the next hundreds of thousands or millions of years, which for stars is not that much. That's really a short period of time. But there are only a couple hundred Wolf-Rayet stars that have been identified in the Milky Way. And that sounds like a lot, but you know, there's 300 or 400 billion stars in our Milky Way. So to only have 200 confirmed, that's pretty incredible. One of them is actually a naked eye star. It's among the brightest stars in the sky, Gamma Velorum. However, it's only visible from the southern hemisphere. But if it does go supernova, that one we'll know, even if you can't see it directly from where we are, we'll know here in Texas. So you won't need the news to tell you. So those are the 3 targets I had picked out for tonight, and I am going to look at the Crescent Nebula and the Veil Nebula live tomorrow night as well, and I do want to talk just a little bit about McDonald Observatory and our location, because of course we are known for our dark skies, but we are working on with the IDA to come up with a plan for the Greater Big Bend International Dark Sky Reserve. And I'm sure some of you are already familiar with this project, but this is an effort led by Bill Wren, who's also here at McDonald Observatory, I believe he's in the chat as well as many friends of the observatory and local volunteers. But the goal is to protect the sky, not just above the observatory, but above other areas like Big Bend National Park and the other surrounding areas. It's about 17,000 square miles, actually a little more, worth of land that we seek to protect, which would make it the largest dark sky reserve certified by the IDA in the world. And I do also appreciate that this project will be international. So we're not just including lands in Texas, but we also seek to include lands in Mexico as well, across the border, which is, I think, an amazing aspect of this project that really makes it somewhat unique, not just big, but international. So that is one of the larger projects going on in West Texas in terms of dark skies, and there's a lot of aspects to that which we could spend a long time talking about. I'm sure some of you are already familiar with it. But that's where I'm going to wrap up. And if anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them as well, either about the objects or about living in West Texas or what the weather is. I don't care.
Yeah, feel free to put questions in the chat and we can relay them to Stephen. So far we're getting thanks. They enjoyed that. And you can go ahead and put those in while we continue the program. If you do have any, they want to know, what time is your program tomorrow?
It is at 7 p.m. Central Time. This is when it will start. Excellent.
And tell us one more time how they find it, how they can get to it.
So I put a link in the chat. If you go to YouTube and search McDonald Observatory, it will likely be one of the first results. There's also links to it on the McDonald Observatory Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and on the McDonald Observatory website under live stream programs.
Okay, and I put that link in one more time so that people can have that in case they missed it. Sometimes especially if you're on a small device, it can scroll up and although I will share with everybody that they can usually go over to those little 3 dots where you type in your message and put save the chat, and it'll save it on your device in case you didn't know how to do that. All right, let me
I do see a couple questions.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah, so where'd it go? Do we have other virtual star parties? Yes, we try to do at least one per month, one virtual program per month. This month we're doing actually at least three. I had one last week, we'll have one tomorrow. And then for the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on December 21st, we'll also have one then. So once per month. We are currently closed to the public. We don't have visitors coming here at the moment, but when we do open to the public, we have start parties 3 times a week. Actually, that's probably going to go up to 4 times per week starting next month. And Gordon Meredith asks, how long were these exposures? The Galaxy NGC 891, that was 3 hours. The Veil Nebula was 2 hours, and the Crescent Nebula, I believe, was 6 hours. However, you can see them even with a minute exposure or less. Obviously, the longer you go, the more detail, but there's diminishing returns. So you can still see them even with relatively short exposures.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share one more time here. And let's see. And so that I can remind you how to donate, and mention again that direct donations that you make via the website or mailing a check to us will be during December, you'll get a matching gift. In other words, your money will be matched up to $500. So feel free with those donations. Do it either via the website, or there's information on the website that gives you the address to send the check directly to our treasurer. The things that we have, the 3 purchase options, we have 2 children's books, each, or with Cassandra in the Night Sky. Again, the link to order that is in our chat, but it's also on the website for this event. And we get 50% of the profits for however many books get ordered between now and the 18th of December. Great gifts for Christmas. The other thing, I mentioned the CD that we get 50% of the profits for any orders that are placed between now and the 18th of December. That's, you heard some of the music from tonight. And the third option of a purchase that will give us a donation, we have been given 6 copies of the children's book, Who Loves the Dark, and 100% of everything above shipping will be go to IDA, Texas. So that's a great book. I love the fact that that Sherry read it. I mean, she hadn't written the book yet, but she had the story put together and read the story at our very first Texas Night Sky Festival. So I'm so delighted that it's into a book now. And it's so important that we start our young people with, as you know, start them with this idea of protecting the night sky. So these are great things to have within your family, or to donate to your local library. Those would be great. I'll remind you that the ordering links are listed in the chat and at www.tx, as in an abbreviation for Texas, NSF, as in nightskyfestival.org, down in the events section. So that wraps up that little piece of it. I do want to, let's see. Oh, I want to mention how to get the book, Who Loves the Dark. You order that, and we have 6 of them. The first 6 people who order will get them. IDATexas@darksky.org. Send an email. Reserve that book. So got great things there. Okay, that takes care of our official meeting. We're a couple of minutes over. I thank everybody for being here. It's been a fun evening. I thank our Stephen and our musicians. It was